Very good afternoon to everyone. Just to confirm me if my voice is audible to everyone. Very good afternoon and good morning to everyone present here according to their location. All right. So again, welcome all of you to the D2 IFTP program. And today we are going to understand the data visualization. But of course, we will be understanding it with one of the very important and most used BI tool in the market nowadays. So I'm going to just give a quick recap to the yesterday's session. So there we have understood the major data analysis approaches which we use in our data analytics field. And those are, let me put it in a presentation mode. All right, now it should be visible clearly. So let's start. So we have understood the data analysis, what exactly the data analysis, data analytics, business analytics, the difference between these two, and how we are utilizing the different business intelligence tools and application in this field to get the right insight and get the right business for our leadership team or a customer or a stakeholder or our cross-functional team. Now here we are going to dig into that little bit and we will be understanding the data analysis, but definitely this time using a BI tool. One of the BI tool we'll cover today, and that is what is Power BI, which is a mostly utilized tool nowadays in the world in this field. So the major data analysis approaches are here. Data requirement specification, which we understand what exactly is data requirement specification, where we get the business requirement from our end user. We go on a call, we understand what is the requirement of the end user, what they are looking for, whether they wants to know the trend, whether they wants to know the profit versus loss of the organization, whether they wants to know the employee performance. So whatever the requirement is, that is what will be considered under the data requirements for the respective business specification. Once we have the data requirements, when we have the business requirements, we will be collecting the data. Data collection, data processing, and data cleaning. These all are gonna be in one place where you have to collect the data, clean the data so that you can start doing the analysis and visualization. When we are doing the cleaning, post that only the analytical things can be invoked within the data. Like take an example, if we have to do a certain calculations, if you have to do a certain column additions, you have to add a value to the missing places, you have to remove certain columns, you have to filter out the data. There will be many things which you want to do within this data preparation work. So after doing the data analysis, the focus will be only into the data visualization, which we are going to cover today. What is data visualization? So in order to turn your raw data into a actionable insights, it's very important to follow these steps, and you will be following these steps. I follow these steps. Entire organization everywhere follows this step so that we can reach out to the result. So data visualization is a very big challenge if we don't know the data. So before that, we definitely have to know our data. We definitely have to understand the data. We definitely have to understand the business requirement. Then the visualization will become easy. But if we want to dig into the visualization, then what exactly is visualization? Let's go and understand it. So what is data visualization? Data visualization is nothing but the process of taking data sets and turning them into a graphic representation. Yes, that simple it is. So when we are turning it into the graphic representation, how does it impact the world and how does it help the end user to take the decision faster and smarter? In your view, what do you think? What is data visualization, guys? Everyone, you can go ahead and write your thoughts. You can unmute yourself and tell me, what do you understand by data visualization? Okay, all right, not a problem. I'll go ahead and explain it. But before that, some real time situation, okay? Before we understand what is data visualization. So data visualization is basically nothing, but it is always gonna be a picture format of your data. Like take an example here, you have got certain data, you have a 3 columns, months, units, and cost. It would be, I'm not saying this is not gonna be meaningful, but this is not gonna be a problem solving thing. This will not be giving you the insights. This is just giving you the information. For the information, we structure the data, we keep the data. But when it comes to take a decision, when it comes to land to the decision so that we can go ahead and increase the business in the organization, and in our take an example, if we have 5 customers and we are not getting a profit from couple of customers from last 3 quarters, we can take a decision by looking at the pictures easily. So whenever it has been converted to the graphic representation, it's always going to be easier to interpret data. Always for any of the firm. Now, I'm going to ask you one question which is not at all related to a data analyst or data visualization. But here, if I will be giving you this information, can you tell me this is about which person? Anyone who can tell this to me? So we have a date of birth, we have a state, we have a country, and the height. We takes time to answer these questions, right? We have here 340 plus people, but we still couldn't answer it so quickly. But if now I'm going to show you the another slide, can you tell me who this person is? Can you tell me the name quickly? Can I have few responses? I got a response very quickly, super fast, right? So there are more than 5 responses within a microsecond. Now, do you understand what exactly a visualization can do? Or why visualization is better than the data? So we need to understand, all of my dear friends here, in such a way. Yes, the data can definitely give us the information, but the visualization is something which will be helping us taking the decision better, because we can see the picture there. We can see the trend there. We can see the information which couldn't be found easily from the data, from the raw data. Of course, there would be a certain tables in your visualization, in your dashboard, which will be giving you top 5 or top 10 customer sales or details. So never ever get this in your mind or keep it in your mind like, okay, we should not be having numbers in our dashboard. No, we should have a numbers in our dashboard. Definitely numbers play a big role, but that should be a visualized number. If I am showing here 1.97 billion of opportunity revenue based on these all month end segments, then it should be a number. It is a number, but it should be in a visualized form. This is a card visual which is containing this number. If I'm going to show you this 1.97 billion in a raw data, it's not going to give you the even idea how to do with it, what to do with it, and how to get the business solution from this data so easily. I'm just randomly clicking into each one of the tables so that you can see you have many datas here. So Always remember a graphical representation is important. I have shown you one live example. Now, if I will be telling you date of birth of the people, the state of the people, the country the people resides in, and the height of the people, now you might be answering this, but can you still quickly answer me the details and the information which we have about the person in the chat window? Can I have a quick response from everyone? Now you should be having some response. All right. So the countdown begins. I'm going to count till 5 and then I'll show you the picture. So take an example here. We have these all details and I need to know the name of the person. I will be starting now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have got one response by now. That is what a person from Tamil Nadu. Of course, there are many person in Tamil Nadu and they stays in USA now. So guys, the details can be easily figured it out if you know the person, if you are familiar with the data. Like take an example, I am the VP of one of the department, and in my department, I have a loans and home lending and a banking department. Okay, so these three domains I take care of, and I got a certain numbers from the loan department, and I got a certain numbers from the banking department. Even without looking at the data, I can understand this is not the right number for the month, August month. But the person who is working on it, they might not be aware about the business. So for them, understanding it is difficult whether the number is right or not without doing the right calculations with the data. So we can only get to know about the things when we are having a right information about the people, we are having the right information about the business. But these information comes from a data, and from the data we visualize it in such a way so that one can easily get the idea what should be done next. So in a similar fashion, the way you have seen in a layman language, this is real time situations, the way we face in our life. We can see the picture of a person and we can easily guess the name of the person. But when it comes to see the details and guessing the person name is becoming difficult for us. So this is the Sundar Pichai, and he is the CEO of Google, right? Let's go and understand now. That's why we do a data visualization. We can easily visualize the data with the graphs. We have many graphs, guys. To understand the graphs, to understand which graph should be picked up in which place, we need a time to learn this. Definitely, we need to go through the complete data analytics course to understand it, take a action towards the goal in a right way. We have to take a BI tools. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up one application for today where I'm going to give you a walkthrough, and let's understand the user interfaces of that, try to understand how do we import data, what is data modeling. And then tomorrow we can have one day one dashboard preparation session where we can do a dashboarding together. So what are the benefits of data visualizations? There are many benefits of data visualizations. You have easily noticed now in previous two slides what are the benefits. But still, I'm going to tell you, the data visualization has become increasingly important as companies have accumulated massive collections of data in each one of the domain. That does not matter whether it is a banking domain, IT domains, whether it is a product based company, or it's a finance company, or it's a BPO, or it's a home lending, or it's a pharmaceutical company, or a healthcare domain, or a retail company, or an e-commerce company, does not matter. We have different sectors, different domains, different works. But yes, the thing which is very common in between all of these domains, the analytical part will be same. The data will be changing, but the analytical skills will be utilized here in the same way. So when the companies are accumulating massive collections of data, do you think it is gonna be easy to handle those amounts of data and show the right insights from the data without BI tools? No, it's not gonna be easy. So without data visualization tool, it can be extremely difficult to extract patterns, trends and insights from large data sets. So we are going to understand one of the application today. Let's understand the Power BI application. 15 or 20 minutes of walkthrough I'll give you, and in next 1 hour we will be understanding the Power BI with the Power BI application. But before I start, I just want to understand, do we have any idea on Power BI? Have we ever heard about it? Do we know anything about it? Even if a single sentence would do enough? Okay, I can see Kumar and Dipti has raised their hand. Do you have any questions? You can go ahead and ask your questions by unmuting yourself, or you can write it into the chat window. All right, not a problem. Let's start. Power BI. First of all, you have to understand Power BI is nothing, but it is a Microsoft product. We all know Advanced Excel. We know the Microsoft Excel. Excel is a Microsoft product, and we have the enhancement of the Excel in Power BI. Yes, of course, Excel is a different BI tool and Power BI is a different BI tool, and these two have a completely different features, but there are certain things which are common in between these two. What are those things? Those are the functions. So you have a functions in Excel. You have many functions in Excel. We have 480 functions in Excel. Among of that, as a data analyst, you will be using 200 plus functions in your day-to-day life. And those 200 functions should be by heart to you. So let's understand the Power BI today. Power BI is nothing but it is a primary authorizing reporting tool. But I want you to understand it. I want you to understand it in a layman, in a real time scenarios. So let's go, and guys, I'm quickly sharing my slides in a PPT mode, and I'll just present it in a presentation mode in some time. So Power BI is nothing, but it will be helping the end user in this way. Just two things you have to understand. You are having the data. The data can be anywhere. It can be in Excel. It can be in CSV. It can be in Salesforce. It can be in Outlook. It can be in a web. It can be in PDF. Anywhere you can have data. You can have data anywhere. Now what happens? You have a data, but you want to do the calculations, you want to do the visualizations, you want to do the analysis because your end user wants some insights from the data. Your end users are here. They cannot reach to the data. They might not know how to use this software. They might not know how to use the Snowflake data warehouse or a Teradata database or a MySQL database where the data are residing. But they want the result, and the result should be in this format where they want to have the result, have the visualized form of data in such a way so that the decision making work can be easy for them. How this is possible? This is only possible when you are using one of the BI application, and as of now we are discussing the Power BI desktop. Power BI is a tool where you have two different important applications. We have many, but as of now, we are discussing only two. The primary authorizing tool is Power BI Desktop, and the another application is Power BI Service cloud-based application. And based on these two applications, you can give them the result. How does it possible? First, you will be importing the data from any of the data source what you have, and that is what you will be doing from here to the Power BI desktop. Once you have a data, you will be going ahead and getting the result from the data making the dashboards and publishing it to the service. The time your dashboard has reached out to the service, to the cloud-based application, your end user can leverage it. Yes, here they don't need you. Here they don't want the end user to be present to present the dashboard to them. How does it possible? Cloud-based application is a self-service tool where you can go and publish the dashboard and anyone can leverage it if they have the access of it. Okay, if they have the access of it, they can go ahead and leverage it. All right, so we will be understanding it in little details, and let's move ahead to the next one. All righty, why do we select a Power BI and why do we choose a Power BI? That is a very important discussion everywhere. So what is Power BI? The Power BI is nothing but Power BI is a data visualization and business intelligence tool which helps us to convert data from a different data sources into interactive dashboards and a BI reports. But to make an interactive dashboards and a BI reports, what we can do here, we can definitely learn the Power BI first. But why we are choosing the Power BI? Because Power BI has been selected by the company called Gartner. The company Gartner, what exactly they do the comparison between all of the BI products every year or in every 3 years by getting the responses, feedbacks, and suggestions from the users and the stakeholders and customer to understand how these tools they will be taking a decision and they will be giving the ranking to the different BI tools. So Microsoft has got the top one ranking in 2021, and from then to now it has managed the same position. Then Tableau is on the second, and most of the organization approaching these two BI tools. Apart from that, there are some, but those has not actually got a place in many organizations to do the work for the customers and clients. So now we understand why Power BI is in the is on demand in market. So we will be understanding how it actually works. To understand it, we have only three different steps. First one, you have to just get the data. What does that mean? When it comes to get the data, always remember you will be getting the data into the Power BI desktop. Why? Because Power BI desktop is nothing but it is a free tool. Yes, this is a completely free applications. Anyone can install it. Anyone can use it. No one has to pay a single penny for that. Let me share my another screen quickly. All right, it is taking few seconds to load. Give me a moment. Now you must be seeing another screen, and this screen which you are seeing now in front of your system, that is what a Power BI application. Whenever you open a Power BI application, you will be getting a welcome page like this. I will be helping you out installing this software today, EOD. So we will be installing it definitely as of now, just to walk through. So Power BI desktop. This Power BI desktop which you are seeing here, that's a part of a Power BI application. Power BI application has three important tools. First one is Power BI desktop, second one is Power BI service, and then we have a mobile app. So mobile app which we have, that is what we use over the phone. And Power BI desktop which we are seeing here on the screen now, that is nothing but it is a primary authorizing reporting tool. A data scientist people or a data analyst people or a Power BI developer, whoever wants to work within the data, whoever wants to make any of the report and dashboard, first they have to deal with this one. Microsoft company has been so kind and generous, which they have provided all of the study materials as well to you for free. So any of the new people who want to learn about it, they can watch the videos. They can definitely go ahead and join the forum, Power BI blogs, get the tutorials, which you're seeing. That's what in the welcome page you have. The time you close this welcome page, you won't be getting it back until you open another new Power BI application. So now here this Power BI applications which we are seeing, is it going to be super easy to use? Yes, once we have understood it. We'll go back and understand the architecture. So get data has to be actually a process where you have to get the data within the Power BI. How do we do that? We have a official name of get data in Power BI user interface, and that's what is available under the data group. Data group has a get data options from where you can get the data, which gives you the option to get the tons of data source, to get the data from tons of data sources. You have more than 100 data sources available here, which has been consolidated in file database. You have a Microsoft Fabric, you have a Power Platform, you have Azure online services, and some other applications as well. Some of the here data source which you are seeing, that is what common between others as well. So never get confused. Okay, why do we have a common data sources here? So it's fine because Microsoft is doing the enhancement every day. So they are making the changes into the user interfaces. They are making the changes in the get data options. They are making the changes into the Microsoft applications in the Microsoft Power BI service. Once we have got the data, then we can go ahead and start walking into the Power BI dashboard. Now here you can see Power BI desktop. This is what will be giving us an opportunity to get the data, to clean the data, to make a report, do the data visualizations, make a dashboard, and publish it into the cloud-based service. Cloud-based service. Now, when you have a cloud-based service here, that time what happens, your end user will have an opportunity to view the dashboards and take a decision easily because they are not at all relied on you, and you are completely removing the manual intervention. You are completely removing it by giving them the opportunity to view the dashboard by themselves. Let's go and now understand it in little details, and we will be then having a look to the one of the dashboard too. Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop is a free self-service data analysis and a reporting authorizing tool, which we will be installing in our window computer. So far, it has not been actually, we do not have a direct provision to install it into the MacBook. We can do it in another way by getting the window in the Mac and then we can install it. But as of now, it can be only done within the window application. So what we are going to do, we are going to install it. I'm going to share a quick link with all of you. You have to click into that and I will be guiding you. If you are interested to install, please install it so that whatever here steps I will be showing you practically. If you want, you can try it with me. So let me go ahead and share the link quickly. Okay, here's the link which I have shared. Can you please open that and confirm me if it is accessible for all of you? The time you open it, you will be having a page like this in front of you. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for confirming, Ashwini and Kisan. All right, let's go and understand how do we install it. Super easy steps. This is what a link from where you can get a Power BI desktop. But when you see here, you have many different applications like a Microsoft Power BI desktop. You have a Microsoft Power BI mobile. You have here the gateway options, but we are going to install only the Microsoft Power BI desktop because it is free application. Now, Microsoft Power BI Desktop has to be downloaded here in your system. For that, you have two different options. You can directly get it from the Microsoft Store if you have. If you do not have, then you can go ahead and get it from the advanced download options. So I'm going to show you both of the options and you can follow the one which is compatible for your system. Let's go and do it. Step one, you have to click into the download option and you will be getting another window where it is saying this site is trying to open a Microsoft store. You have to click into the open and now I'll show you the Microsoft Store. It will be directing you to Microsoft Store and it will be showing you the Power BI desktop icon with the name called Power BI Desktop Microsoft Corporation. Below the corporation, you will be having an open link. Before you open it, just confirm it through chat window if you all can see this if you are trying to install in your system. Perfect. Now I'll click into the open. And the time you will click into the open, it will start getting installed in your system. Like for me, it is already there. So I do not have to get it. Now, if you do not have, it will take few minutes to get it installed in your system. It might take in between 1 to 2 minutes and I'll wait for you to finish it off. One thing in the meantime, I want to say this particular application does not require any license. It will never get expired. You can use it lifetime and you can always get the updated version of Power BI desktop updated in your system automatically. For that, you do not have to take any action from your end. So having the application in your system is always beneficial for the student, for the trainers, and for the people who are looking for a jobs. So they can always go and practice the dashboards, reportings, and other user interfaces they can explore and play with in their free time, because this does not require any license, only the Power BI desktop application. Don't forget to confirm me once you can see this in your system. Sure. Give me a moment. I'll definitely share it with you, Varalakshmi. Varalakshmi, can you try from this link which I have shared it now in the chat window? Yes, Ashwini, this is not at all openable in phone. You have to get it in your system, in your window, in your laptop, computer. It will not work in your phone. In phone, mobile app will work, Power BI mobile app. But for that, we have a different process. The Microsoft has provided us a free applications only with the name Power BI Desktop, because Microsoft has many applications and among of all those, only one is free. All right, if we can see this is installed, we can quickly click into the open. The time you click into the open, it will be taking you again to the Power BI desktop welcome page. And I want all of you to confirm me if you can see the welcome page like this. Everyone, if you need my help anywhere, do let me know. If you are only watching the session and not practicing with me, you can message me, Neha, please move ahead, and we will be moving ahead further. All right, Deepak has downloaded. Give the link for Power BI desktop. Okay, I'll reshare it one more time. Give me a moment. So there is another link which I'm going to share with the people who all are not able to install the Power BI desktop from the Microsoft Store. But what they need to do here, when you are installing it, I'm going to share my screen and show you here what option has to be followed. This is the another link which I have shared. Advanced download option. The time you click into advanced download option, you will get the option called download here. Step 2, download. Then it will ask you which version you want. The 64, the other one does not have the bit, but it is a 32. So we'll take a 64 one, which is the latest one, the new one. We'll click into the download and it will go to your download folder. Perfect. Thank you so much for confirming, Bashir. So now here you go to a download folder And there you will have that Power BI Desktop 64 exe folder. From there, you just click and do yes. It will be installing the Power BI Desktop in your system. All right, I'll just wait for another 2 minutes and then we'll move ahead. In the meantime, all of you who have completed, please go ahead and confirm me through chat window. If there is anyone who needs my help, please let me know. And post 2 minutes, we will be moving ahead. I'm here. You can ask any of the questions. Perfect. Let's move ahead then. Now this is a Power BI desktop welcome page. So for next 10 minutes, I'm going to give a walkthrough of this one. Then we'll again have a little bit of theoretical knowledge and then we'll try to do some of the exercise. It's going to be a basic exercise which we can do it together and we can get ourselves ready for our tomorrow day one dashboarding session. So it will be officially day 3, but one day we will be utilizing for a dashboard. Let's start. When you open a Power BI desktop, you will be getting a green color page with a combination of black page. That is nothing but it's a welcome page of Microsoft Power BI, which will be giving you some options. The Power BI desktop, get data, you will be having recent sources you might not have here because these are the dashboards which I have accessed recently. If you want to open other reports, you can click into this and you can get the another report. What's new? Take a look at what's new and improved in Power BI in this month's update. Well, Power BI is an evolving tool and every month we are having something new added in this. And this has been officially announced by Microsoft company. So we can expect every month something new. And if you want to know what exactly new feature has been added or updated within the Power BI, you can click into it and you can have a look to that. You have a certain forums available for Microsoft Power BI community where you can go and ask the questions. If you have any questions, you have any doubts, you can always ask. Then you have a Power BI blogs from where you can get the updates, news about the Power BI, and you will have certain resources which you can leverage as well. Well, along with that, you have a tutorials provided by the Power BI where you have a certain samples, you have some videos, and you have a learning materials. You have the learning materials in a documentation form which you can leverage. If you are interested for that, I can share those links to you separately and you can read about it post these 5 days of session as well, which will be really helpful for all of you. Once we close this welcome page, the page we are getting, this is what a Power BI desktop reporting tool, where we have in the middle one blank page and we call it a canvas. We call it a canvas where you have option to import the data from different data sources. One, one important point, the time you will be importing the data, what will happen? This option will be gone. Then how you will import the data? For that, we have officially available one data pane into the right side, where you will have all the data available. All right. So now this is what called a canvas. This white page is canvas. In the right side, you have 3 different panes: data pane, visualization pane, and the filters pane. The filters pane will let you add 3 different types of filters in your report: visual level filter, page level filter, and report level filter. The visualization pane giving you an opportunity to pick it up the visualization from here and give your data some visual representations. It's very simple. You can click into this, you can drag it, and if you want to post it as somewhere, you can easily place it here. You can maximize it and minimize it. This part is still manual in Power BI. Within the visualization pane itself, you have three different another groups. One is of build visuals, another one is a format visual, which is not at all activated now because we do not have any data. The time you have a data, the visualization formatting options will get activated for you. Then the magnifying glass symbol which you have, that is what an analytical visual format. And then you have a data visual pane. The data visual pane contains all of your tables with the rows and columns, all of the calculations, whatever you are doing here. Let's move to the left side. In the left side, you are having a one particular pane where you have three different views. The first one is a report view. The second one is a data view, and third one is a model view. So this is a report view. This is a data view. This is a model view. The report view will be having reports here. The data view will contain your tables here. The model view will give you an opportunity to make a relationship between the tables. I have three different tables. Consider one example, and I want to use all those three different tables of data as a one table in my dashboard without combining, merging the tables. So you can use a different tables of columns and rows in one of the report without merging them. How it is possible? By creating a relationship between the tables. So if you have a table A, table B, and table C, and you want to use these three tables like a one table, D table, but you don't want to merge them. You don't want to have one table where you will have all the table A, B, and C data. So in this situation, you can create a relationship between the tables. In the model view, you can see you are having a manage relationship option within the user interface. But this is not activated just because we do not have a tables here. All right, this was about the report view, data view, and model view. Let's move to the next one. Now come to the down, and here you are having the all tables options. We can also call it a page 1, page 2, page 3. The time you will go to the report view. You can see new page can be added like an Excel tab. If you want to delete it, you can delete it. If you want to duplicate, take an example, page 4 contains some dashboards and you want to duplicate the same one, you can duplicate it. If you want to rename it, you can rename it. In the right side, you can see you have a zoom option from where you can change the report view page size. You're not changing the Power BI desktop, just you're changing the canvas size if you're focusing carefully. Then you are having this option called fit to a page, which will be making your canvas fit to the complete desktop page. All right, this was about the views and the panes. Now let's go to the ribbons. We call it ribbons in Excel, and yes, in Power BI too, we call it ribbons. Where we are having the different tabs like a file, home, insert, modeling, view, optimize, and help. Might be after 6 months, if you will be using a Power BI, take an example, you are a first year student now, if anyone is there, and after 4 years, you will be getting a job in Power BI and you will be seeing here 2 more new tabs. So don't get surprised because Power BI will keep adding the new features. But if you have learned the Power BI today, you will always able to use it because new features will be just a new feature which has to be explored. That won't be a new tool. Okay, so let's go and understand this. I'll take a pause and I'll see if anyone is having any doubts or question. Sidaling, I'm not sure how to share it in WhatsApp group. Amar can take this question. Amar, there is a question from one of the persons, Sidaling. He wants to have the recorded session in his WhatsApp group. Kindly go ahead and confirm it through the chat window how it can be done. Okay, all right. So now here we are having a different tabs. In the different tabs, we are having a different groups. Like a home tab, you must be aware about a couple of these groups because we have used it in Excel, like a clipboard where we have a paste, cut, copy, format painter. Then we have a data group, very important group. Yes, it's very important and one has to deal with it in every day when they are using a Power BI. Well, here one thing which is actually give a lot of curiosity to the newbies in this market. When we have a get data, Neha, where we have all the data sources consolidated, then why do we have these all separated data sources here? So basically, we have all the data sources available within the get data, but there are certain which all are getting utilized very frequently by different organizations. Accordingly, they are adding couple of the data sources outside of the get data option, which can be quickly accessible by any of the user. But those are available within the get data also. So the time you click into the more, you get here a get data options where you are having a different groups. So like for a flat files, you have a file groups. For a database, you have a database group, like you have a different types of databases. Like I have used here Teradata so far, MySQL in my career, and Snowflake. Now, when you will be going ahead and searching for some of the data warehouse, those will be also added within the database itself. But take an example, you're not able to figure it out. Then you can write here also, and it will come. Amazon Redshift. Can you see that? So it is under the database. If you will be writing here Excel, then it will show you it is under the files. So that's how you can write your database name if you have already information about that. So in 10 years, I have used only 5 different database come data warehouse. As I said, those are MySQL, Teradata, Snowflake, Redshift, and one is very common, everyone knows about it, SQL Server. So doesn't mean you have to use these 5 only, doesn't mean you have to deal with all of it, doesn't mean you will be dealing with a certain one database which you have to know. So now here the question arises in the mind, if we have to use, take an example, Neha, the Sybase, we have to use a Teradata or we have to use a HANA or we have to use any other database with which we are not familiar, then how do we deal with that? Because Power BI itself is a new tool for us. And then again, on top of that, with the database also, we have to deal with it. That's actually a big question, but we have a very easy answer for that. So when you will be dealing with any of the data warehouse or a database, what happens? Take an example. This is a Snowflake I'm dealing with. Okay. This is my local machine. So it will not allow me to get into that. I'm just showing you the example. So in organization, companies knows very well their employees. So they knows you are a Power BI developer or you are a business analyst or you are a data analyst or you are a BI developer, business intelligence developer. So you will be focusing on the BI tools. Now you should not have the complete Snowflake access. It's okay if you only have a server link which will be given to you from your IT team and that will be done with the help of your managers. You do not have to take much actions here. The time they get to know what is your role in the organization, for your role, whatever tables is required, for those all tables, they will be giving you a server from where you can go and access. The warehouse name, if advanced options required, these details will be also given to you. If you want to write certain queries to filter out some data, you can do it, which is completely optional and just do OK. By filling the details, it will be taking you to the list of the tables from where you can just click and get the tables in Power BI. So you don't have to be pro in data warehouse. Yes, eventually when you step up the ladders in this field, you have to be pro in these all, because there will be a time where you have to understand some of the data warehouse based on your organization, which cannot be decided in the starting of your career. It will be only decided if I am working for an organization called ABC. An organization called ABC uses Redshift and Snowflake, then I need to focus on those and I need to understand it so that I can do the data wrangling properly in my career, in my job. So this was about the get data, from where you can get the data. How easy it is to get the data? Let's go and see. You can click into the more step 1. Wherever you have a data, you can click into that. As of now, I'm clicking into the file. I'm selecting the Excel, clicking into the connect. And here I have a P6 UK bank customers data. I will open it and it is getting loaded. In the meantime, I'm also gonna attach this here in case if you want to give a try, well, which I'm not looking forward from you now, but in case if you want to give a try, you can do it. So quickly, I'll just share it. So it is available in the chat window if anyone want to explore this. Okay, the time I have tried to import the data into the Power BI, what did I observe? I observed it is giving me one navigator window where I have this P6 UK bank customer tables, and there is a one box which has to be ticked. By clicking into the box, you will only able to preview the data. This is not your complete data. This is just a preview of your data. Okay, so you can click into that and you can click into the transform. Why do we need to do a transform? That is very important part. So in the navigator window, in the left hand side, you have a table. In the right hand side, you have a data preview. And in the down, you are having three options called load. It means your data is ready and you directly get it in your Power BI desktop, transform, or cancel. So I will be directly clicking into the load if my data is ready. And the time I'll click into the load, can you just have your eyes in the data panes and see what is happening there? Can we see there is a something happening, and eventually it will be adding one table with the 4014 rows and which has many columns. Can you see that? Yes or no? Now, in a similar fashion, you are having another group. In the another group, you are having a transform queries. You are having then the visuals group. This visual group is nothing, but this is the same visualization pane which you are having here. So you can do whatever you want to do from here or in the insert visual. Always remember, whatever you are seeing here two times or three times doesn't mean this is a mistake. There is an enhancement happening in the Power BI, and because of that, you are seeing it many times. Okay. So nothing to worry about it. Then we are having a calculations group, sensitivity and publish. I have discussed about the cloud-based application Power BI service. Let's go and talk about it here a little bit, because for that we have got a one tab, one group. So this Power BI desktop, when it will be getting the report ready for the end user, we will be leveraging this particular group called a share, where we have a publish option. But Microsoft is super smart. because they have given the Power BI desktop for free. But what happens? They have not provided us the opportunity to leverage the Power BI service, a cloud based application for free. For that, we should have a company email address. You can just click into this and you will be seeing here, by clicking into this, you are having an option called do you want to save your changes? It means I have added some pages here. I have made some changes here. Now I want to save those changes. So what you can do, you can just click into this and you will be seeing here Can I have a quick yes or no? Okay, so I was asking, I have shared another dashboard. Here it was asking for us to save the file because we have made some changes, and this one is asking us to save the file. But now I'm sharing another dashboard and I'm trying to do a publish, but we have not made any changes to this, but it is still asking me to save the file. So here, why it is always asking you to save the file? Because whenever you are publishing your dashboard to the Power BI cloud-based application with the name Power BI service, always remember it has to be saved. And this has to be confirmed to the publish option. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you have made the changes or not, it will be giving you the opportunity to do that. All right. Now, let's go and click into the Insert tab. In the Insert tab, again, you can see some of the repeated features. New page, you can add it from here, you can add it from here, plus symbol, new visuals. Yes, this is what available into the visualization pane. Then you are having a QA, key influencer, decomposition tree. These three visuals has been considered under the AI visuals. AI visuals are a little important visuals into the Power BI because AI visuals will give you the more granular details about your data without spending much time on the visualization. Then some of the new features which has been added here, paginated report, Power Apps and Power Automate, but these all can be only done when you are using your organizational email address. Otherwise, these are not possible directly into the free applications. Then we have some other features called a buttons, shapes and images. These particular elements which we are seeing here, this will be helping you out navigating from one visual to the another visual easily. This will be helping you out adding a page navigation bookmarks to the respective buttons. When now we are coming for a calculations. In Excel, we are having a many different types of calculations like a VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, sum functions, sum if functions, count functions, COUNTIF functions, and many more we have. In a similar fashion, in Power BI desktop, we have functions and with the name DAX, data analysis expression. Data analysis expression. And this DAX has been segregated in 4 different groups with the new measure, quick measure, new column, and new table. New measure, quick measure, new column, and new table. Now, when you are doing a calculation, it is very important for you to understand the difference between these four, because the calculation will happen in a different ways. You will have a different result, and also these all supports a different types of data. So if you have a qualitative data, you have to go with the new column. If you have a quantitative data, you have to go with the new measure. If you have a If you have take an example, a table requirement, you have to go with a new table DAX. And if you have to get some analytical calculations done, a business intelligence calculations done, then you have a quick measure available where you already have a calculation. Just you have to drag and drop the column there to get the result. These all four will be working based on the situations. We can't stick to the words. Okay, fine. Every time we have to go with a new column when we are having a qualitative data. Yeah, that is possible. But sometime it may change when we are using the combination of qualitative and quantitative data. So this is something which has to be understood at a high level so that one can go ahead and do the calculation. The same VLOOKUP, same HLOOKUP, same XLOOKUP, which we are doing into the advanced Excel, we can do it here, but the method, the process are slightly different. End result would be definitely same. Some of the participants has also asked me this question, Neha, when we can do those calculations in Excel, then why do we need to do it into the Power BI? Take an example, you have a database here, a Snowflake, and you have all the tables available in Snowflake, and you have imported those tables into the Power BI. Now you have to do a calculation. There is a no link between the Excel and Microsoft here. When you are connecting your data, you are getting the data from the Snowflake. So will you be going ahead and exporting the data and then doing the calculations and then importing it again into the Power BI? That's going to be a dual job, right? So what we will be doing here, we will be understanding the DAX in such a way so that we can do the calculations here. Then we are having the view from where we can change the view. We can add some bookmarks. Bookmarks give us the opportunity in one page where we can show multiple different pages. Then we have an option called optimize from where we can refresh the visuals, pause the refresh, apply some of the slices to all the buttons which we have added. And if you want any sort of supports or help and you do not have a trainer with you now, you are not reachable to your trainer, you can go ahead and get it from the help tab. All right, so we all have imported the data here, and I want to now show you how those imported data works into the Power BI. So this was a quick walkthrough to the Power BI user interfaces. I'm gonna just take a pause and ask a questions if anyone wants to know anything which I'm missing on, and if you have any doubt, questions, or your thought, you can go ahead and write it into the chat window. All right. So let's go and understand. So we have imported the data here, which says we have a UK bank customers data. I will be taking a table here to understand what data we have. But before that, I want to go to a table view. You have here a report view, then you have a data view where you can see the tables. This is the tables, and these are the data which you have got here. In the report view, you can't see the data. You can only see the column names with the header and the table name. But in the report, in the data view, you can see the complete data. Is it visible to everyone? Yes or no? All right. Now, the one question from one of the participants here, where the data would be stored. Well, data is into the data view, but is it the only place where it has been stored? Actually, no, the data has been stored to the Power Query. Power Query is again a query language. You can see a Power Query language, but where we don't write any query. We never write any program to store that. Microsoft will be running the query behind and storing the data, but we can see it how they have ran the query, what they have wrote, and where the data is. For that, you can see there is a group called in the Home tab queries, where we are having a transform data. In the transform data, you have two options, transform data and data source setting. Transform data will take you to the Power Query Editor window. Click into that by yourself and you will be seeing this window there. Your data is stored here. Power Query Editor. This is the another window, but it is actually linked with the Power BI. But whenever we want, we can come here. Here we can do a data cleaning. We can change the data sources. We can do anything related to the data level of work here. So this is the data which we have imported where we have a customer name, name of the customer, sorry, customer ID, name of the customer, gender, their age, reason, job qualification, and date of joining. So when we have got these all details along with the balance what they have, what we can do here, we can see how the Power BI has imported this data from this query window. In the query window, we are having the advanced editor. In the advanced editor, you have the entire code written. This is going to be slightly different from the SQL, Python, and R because this query we never write, the Microsoft company writes it, but we can understand it what they have done here. In the Power Query Editor, you will only have two blocks, let blocks and in blocks. Let blocks will start the program and in block will end the program, and the last particular changes whatever you will be making that will be added after the in block just to notify you this is the last update which you have done within your data sets. So it is telling you, hey, first I have gone to the source and this is what a source from where I have imported the data. In the source, I have found this particular sheet, and in this sheet, we are having one of the sheet with the name data where I got these all headers and I have promoted it in such a way. How did I promote it, the headers? By changing the name of it. How? So take an example. If you have got the headers here, if you will be getting I'll close it. If you will be getting the data here like this, do you think it will make any sense to you? Do we have headers here? No, we do not have. In a similar fashion, take an example here. If you have got here a column name, column 2, column 3, column 4 like that, that will also not make any sense. So promoting the header will be placing the header in the right place for each one of the column. That's what will be done within it. So that is what will be done by the Microsoft query automatically. Then I have changed the type of your data. So if I have a name, then I have changed it to the text type. For surname, I have added a text type. For customer, I have added an integer. For age, I have added an integer data type. For reason, text. For job classification, text. For date joined, date data type. And for balance, we have added a type number. So now here, what will happen? Now here, what will happen? Whenever they will be changing the data type, you will be seeing the right data type to each one of the column. Now, this is what your number, right? In the customer ID, you are seeing here 1, 2, 3. You can relate it in many ways. Let me go and show you another way. How do you test your data type? You can see here, this I have selected a customer ID and now go and focus on the area where I am dragging my arrow. Data type shows whole number. The time I'm selecting a name, the data type has been converted to the text. Yes or no? The time I'm selecting here, the age, it is again getting converted to the whole number. For the date, it is getting converted to a date data type. So Microsoft will be writing a query and they will be doing these all data cleaning by themselves. There would be a certain situations where Power Query will not able to read the data from some of the data sources. So there you have to do it by yourself by checking it. But most of the time, 99% of the time, these basic data cleaning will be done by the Power Query. Now, when you are into the Power Query, how do you go back to the Power BI desktop? If you have made any changes to the Power Query, what you can do here, you can click into the close and apply from the top left side. And it will be taking you to the Power BI desktop, and for a second the screen share will not be visible because the query has been now, the Power Query editor window has been now closed and the new window has opened, Power BI desktop. So the data will be stored into the Power Query editor when you are importing the data. Now, what is the meaning of import? I'm taking you to the data view and I'm putting my cursor on the table, and can you see there are three names which is visible in white box of the particular window, and that is what? A table name or a file name, then the storage mode, and then the data when it was refreshed last time. So it was refreshed last time today at 4:02 p.m. So storage mode is import. What does that mean? So whenever you are importing the data, it will be imported in your Power BI and it will be here in data view. That's why it is showing the storage mode is import. So Neha, if this is the storage mode, this is the import storage mode, then what all other mode we have? We have only two different types of storage mode in Power BI. I'm clicking into the SQL server and I'm going to show that to you. One is import and another one is direct query. Import is nothing but it will be importing the data and keeping it in your Power BI itself. Direct query is a live connection through which we are connecting to one of the data source, but we are not importing the data into the Power BI. We are just using it from the same data source in the Power BI. So that live method is difficult to show in a local machine because it will be restricted at organizational level. And there are certain things which cannot be done in a free desktop applications for the security purpose of the data. So we can pick it up the mode which we want. Now, how do you know which mode you have to select? So you need to decide it accordingly. If you want to keep the data in your Power BI, you will be selecting the import mode. Generally, we do this when we are having a lesser amount of data and we want to make a small report. But if you are having a 10 millions of data, you should not be preferring the import mode. You should be preferring the direct mode. The rationale behind it, you will be slowing down your Power BI application if you will be picking up the import mode. Okay. All right. Now let's go and move ahead. So I'm going to show you a couple of visualizations and we can do it together if you guys are interested. Otherwise, you can have a look and we can do the dashboard together tomorrow. I have got the data here and I can see here the data are available, and we have already observed what all types of data we have. So we have the customer data here where we have the ID of the customer and the name of the customer, from which gender they belongs to, their age, in which region they stay, their job classification, when they have joined that, and what is the balance they have. So you can see here you have a different types of blue color, other, and white color of job classification. In the region you are having England, North Ireland, and Scotland and Wales. In the gender you are having a male and female. A name you have a definitely different name for a different customers. What can I do with this data? Randomly, I do not have anything in my mind now. And if I will be giving you this data and asking you just show some analysis with these data, what all we can show quickly. So if we will be providing this data to the end user, then what we can do, we can take a table. So this is the table view which we have here in the visualization pane. We can click into that. We can here take the customer name. How do we take? The time you are having any of the visuals present into the Power BI, you can go to the data pane, and from the data pane, different columns, you can select the columns which you want. But if you're focusing carefully, the time I have selected the table, I have got here a column fields option. Now try to understand what is happening. So if I want to show here the customer name, This is the customer name and their balance. It is getting ingested within the columns field. And that's how I will have the data. But if you have focused here carefully, you have got here a sum of balance. This is what called a the time you click into the arrow mark, the down arrow, you will be seeing one of the group and we call it a quick insight. Within the quick insight, you have certain formula, statistical formula, which can be utilized without applying it. Like by selecting the average, you will get the average calculation of that column. By selecting the max or min, you will get a max or min calculations. In a similar fashion, you can go ahead and get the count, standard deviation, variance, and median. But why did we get the sum here? Always remember, whether it's a Excel pivot table or any of your visuals in Power BI, whenever you take a numerical data, you will be by default getting a calculation called sum. Whenever you are getting the qualitative data, means a text data, by default, you will be getting a calculation called count. If you want to change it, you can change it according to your requirement. Okay. Now here, I'll select the average. Can you see the values are changing? I'll select the minimum. Can you see the values are changing? So it will be changing according to your requirement. Of course, you are the one who is doing it. So you should understand what needs to be presented. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make two visuals here. Okay. The first one is I'll take here a column graph. This column, I have shown you the table already. So this column graph is gonna have certain things. You can take here a balance. The balance has gone to the y-axis. In x-axis, what you want to take? Let's take a job classifications. And you can see the group of white collar people are actually having more balance. Then the group of blue collar people are having the second most balance, and we have the less balance for the other job classification people. Now, by seeing this graph, isn't it more easy to do the visualizations and understand the data instead of seeing the number of datas in a table? Yes or no? Once you have this, will you be presenting it like this? No, of course not. Whenever you have it, you have to go ahead and work on it in such a way so that it will look presentable. Well, this is the one of the, you can either say a disadvantage or the enhancement which is required in Power BI. The formatting is still manual in this Power BI tool. But yeah, by doing it for a certain period of time, you will get handy with it. So what all types of basic formatting required, Neha, to make a visual better or look better or look presentable? So there are some formatting which are mandatory to be done and some you can do to make your visual look better. So this is my column graph where I have some data. We'll read the data first and we'll read the visual first, then we'll do the formatting. In the top right side, you can see on the visual, you have three symbols. The first one is filter. So it says whether any filter is applied here or not. The second one is gonna make your visual in a focus mode if you want and make it bigger. And the third one is ellipsis, which contains a sort axis. How do you want to sort your visuals data based on the job qualification, based on the ascending or descending? Can you see? That's what you can do here, like this. Now spotlight means if you have any other visual, take an example here, you have got 3 4 visuals and you want to make a spotlight of one visual, this visual, then what will happen, this one will be only visible and rest all will be faded for certain period of time. Once you have presented it, you have discussed about it and your work is done, you can remove the spotlight mode. If you want to remove the visual, you can simply click into the remove from this and you can remove it. Then you have the another one that is what called a shows as a table. Whatever visualizations you are making in Power BI, for that you will have a table. So as a table. So you can have here a show as a table data like this. This is not what we have in Power BI canvas area. It has not been added there. It's just for the visualization or a presentation purpose. You can go back to the report. And if you want to export the certain amount of data which has been only utilized in Power BI, this respective visualization, you can click into the export and get it. Yeah, please Siri, tell me what question you have. All right, not a problem. We'll move ahead. If you have question, you can go ahead and write or unmute yourself and let me know. Now what we are gonna do, we are gonna here make a formatting. So by doing the formatting, we make our visualization presentable. How to convert a chart to a table. So you can simply go and click into this and show as a table. This is a temporary for presentation purpose or view purpose. You have got here certain data and you want to view it immediately, but not in a visualization mode, just in a table mode, then you can do. But in case if you have a different questions, you want to convert this chart as a table, then what you can do, you can select this particular visual and you can click into the table visual and it will be automatically converted to a table. Now again go you want to convert it to the bar visual or a column visual, you can go to the column visual and select it. So here you are making a permanent change which is again permanent, but you can go back and change it as many as times you want. But the previous one which I showed you, that was something which you are doing for a presentation purpose where you have added one table which will go back the time you will do a back to report. All right. Now here we are having this. So I'm going to put it in a focus mode so that we can read the visual properly. In the visualization, you have some of the details which you should understand why it is there. This area, whatever you are seeing in this area, this is what called an x-axis. This is what called a primary y-axis. This one is a x-axis title and this is a y-axis title. If you will have a two numerical data added, then one will go into the secondary y-axis, which we don't have here now. In all of the graph, we don't have a secondary y-axis present. Only there are some graphs where we have a secondary y-axis present. Now here you have a, let's go and back to the report. You have here a title. This is what called a visualization title. It's a visualization title. These all have been added by default. If we want to make any changes, what we can do here? Let's go and understand it. This is what my visual I have here. I'll go to the format your visual, which is available under the second pane, visualization pane of the second group called a format your visual. I have highlighted and noted it with the red arrow. You can have a look. I want to format it. There are certain steps which you would please format and rest all depends on you and your organization what they are looking for. So if you want to make the changes to x-axis, you can go and change it to the different color. Still it is black, but I have made it darker. You can make it bold. You can increase or decrease the size. Now you have a x-axis title as well, job classification. You can show title only. You can just change the title name from here. As of now, it is auto. You can decrease the size if you want. You can again make it a dark black. You can make it bold. You can give a underline to this if you want. Then x-axis, of course, to maintain the consistency, now I'll keep all of it black. I'll change the size. I'll change the format. Title as well should be same. I'll go ahead and make the changes here. I'll highlight it and I'm done. Only x-axis and y-axis I have done when we have a many things here. So grid lines, what does a grid line means? Can you see a small dotted horizontal line has been added for each one of the value from the y-axis. If you want to switch it off, you can go to the grid lines and switch it off to make your visual look better. Then you have a zoom slider, which is not required here. This is required when you have a many different groups and you need a zoom slider to view the data in the visual. Then you have a column options. Take an example, you want to change the color of the column. This is what a color I want to go and change it. That's how I want to do. That's how I want to do. I can go and change it. That's a column. Then you have a data level if you want to add a data levels for each one of the job classification groups separately. You can go and do the formatting of data level 2. Now I will again go back to the columns, guys, and I want to show you in the columns where you have a default color, you must be noticing there is a one FX symbol we have. This FX symbol is nothing but it is a conditional formatting. So I can click into the FX and it is giving me another window called a default color columns color. So basically here you have got a different types of conditional formatting style and I want to keep it gradient because we are doing a very basic one. The lowest value has to be highlighted with the orange and the highest value has to be highlighted with the green. Now if I do okay, what will happen? You guys tell me. Can you see that? Yes or no? So there are changes within the different columns. So we have got an orange color for two of the groups because those two values are pretty, close to each other. 40 and 40 million. If we want to add another rules and we want to make it very specific, below 41 has to be in a red, above 40 has to be, or in between 40 to 50 has to be in yellow, above 70 has to be in green, then we can add such kind of conditional formatting as well. So conditional formatting is easily available in Power BI for table and as well as for visuals too. The time you have added a conditional formatting, you have got a sum of balance group here with some of the values. That's what called a legend. Earlier, if you had noticed, the legend was not activated, but now it got activated because you got a value here. So when you got a value, it will be automatically activating. Now let's go to the general. This was about the visual. In general, you have a title where you can go and change the title color, you can change the title design, you can change the title place. Along with that, you are having here the effects. Effects will be always helping you out getting the background color if you want to get. As of now, of course, it doesn't make sense with the black because we are already having the values and data series in a black color. If you want to take any of the certain color, you can do it. You can go and change the transparency of it from here. You can add a visual border from here. Whatever color you want, you can go ahead and get it. I'll take some highlighted color so that you can easily understand. Now, if you want to change the shape or of the visual in a little rounded corners, you can do that. You can add a shadow which can give a good shadow in the background. If you want, you can get it from the inside, you can get it outside, you can get it to the bottom, you can get it to the top, left, center, anywhere, wherever you want. So this was just a small glimpse of the formatting part of Power BI visualization. So now here, now this visual is absolutely ready because because it is showing us the value for each one of the group clearly, and even the different color has been explained what exactly it is doing. So whenever your visual is ready, to be presented, always remember you should have a clean visual, you should have a data added there, you should have a x-axis and y-axis mentioned properly, you should have a proper job title. Like take an example, sum of balance by a job classification is not a job title which your end user is liking, then you can also make it total balance. So that's how you can go ahead and make the changes. All right. Perfect. So this is what a total balance. So I have got the visual ready. You can go and sift it here and you can start working on the another visual. So this is how we make a basic visuals in Power BI. Now let's go and understand a couple of other things. I'm going to talk about here the data visualization. How does it actually help an end user to get the or to understand the business and take a decision in a faster and a smarter way? So opportunity overview dashboard, which is in front of your screen now. This is what nothing, but it is one of the sample dashboards, which is a great example of a data analysis, because here we are trying to understand. So basically, this data set is of the software company where they have the two sales channel. One is a direct and another one is partner. Direct and partner two sales channel. For two sales channels, we are making a dashboard where the sales manager has to create a dashboard to track the opportunity and revenue by the reason, deal size, and the channel. So what we are doing here, we are trying to just get the revenue, a salesperson's estimate of what the revenue will be. Then the factored revenue where we are doing the calculation as a revenue X probability percentage. Then we are having certain lead percentage, qualify, solution, proposal, and finalize options. And based on these all factors, we are making one of the dashboard. So let's go to this one. Here we are having certain things. The first one is card visual, which is a very important visual to track the numbers. So we are seeing on the 444 project, we have got $1.97 billion of revenue. That is what we have got from the three different regions called the East region, Central region, and West region. So basically, these all regions has given us the revenue. We are seeing in the month of December, we have got the most revenue. This yellow line is showing you when you have got more opportunity, and the green line is showing you when you have got more revenue. So it doesn't mean the month when you have got a more opportunity, we are getting the more revenue in that month. It depends on the product which you have sold, and accordingly you are getting it. So you can see the more opportunity we have got, that is what in the month of June. But in terms of the revenue, the December is on the pick and June is on the second place. We are also noticing here, we are having a direct partner and we have two different partners here, right? Direct partner and a partner. So direct and a partner. That's how we have a name. So one is a direct and another are these are the different partners we have. So we can also see who all have met the deadline. So we have set a deadline of here. The time you will put your cursor to this line, we call it a constant line or a deadline, is 100. How do we go ahead and check it? I'll quickly show that to you. It's 100. Okay, I'll quickly highlight it with a different color. And I will go here, transparency, and I'll add a data level. And I'll change the color of it. So you can see it's 100. I'll make it black, which will be more visible. Yeah. So now here we are trying to understand who all have met the deadline. So our deadline was 100 and only the direct partners has met the deadline, because you can see the bar graph which is crossing the deadline is, or which is crossing the constant line is only direct. The rest all have tried to touch, but Son Taxon has somehow touched it, but not at all met the deadline. These all things, when we are presenting to an end user, we can also decide to play the dashboard. How? The time you will click into the play button, you can see the dashboard is actually getting presented automatically. The motion of this you can set. You can set it in a slow and a more fast motion, or this is what is standard motion. We call it a play axis, which gives you an opportunity to play the dashboard for everyone in an animation mode. For stop it, you can click into the stop. You can go ahead and reset it, and you can see the dashboards based on the different month. So in Jan month, how did it walk? In Feb, how did it walk? In March, in April, in June, in May, in August, October, like that. This is what called a slicer, which helps you getting interacted with the different visuals, and you can go ahead and do it with each one of the visual or only one visual, depends on your requirement. Now we are having a revenue where we can easily see the place which has been highlighted. I'll make it more meaningful. I'll quickly go to this one and I'll add a category level. So the name which are visible here, only for those names, only for those particular state we have got the revenue, which is clearly visible. So always remember, whatever you are doing here, whatever you are going to present to your end user, that should make some sense and they can easily go ahead and take the decision. So of course, this is super clear. So only we are getting the business from the direct partners and so on taxon. So we can go ahead and take the deal off from these all partners. This decision can be a very hard decision, but it can be taken by seeing this dashboard. We are also noticing from the west region we are getting very less opportunity, but actually from the east and central we are getting a good number of opportunities. So why don't we go ahead and close all the stores into the west and increase the stores into the east and central? And also we can do here one thing, we can do the analysis in the west and we can understand why it is happening, whether we don't have a good salesperson there, or we don't have the manpower there, or we are not meeting the requirement of the customers. So these kind of analysis, root cause analysis, a diagnostic analytics can help us understand why we are getting a less opportunity into the west region. So that's how you always understand from the visuals what decision has to be taken and how you can quickly take a decision to either prevent the company from a risk or increase the business quickly. So that's why the data visualization is very important. Always remember, data visualization has become increasingly important for all of the companies. And in a similar way, the data analyst jobs are getting increases every day because the companies are generating a massive volume of data every single day, and we need a people to manage that. But after managing, we need a people to analyze that. Post that, we need a people to visualize that. Of course, we need an expert to do these all work. So that's why the data analytics and the business analytics is a position which will be going ahead and helping an organization to deal with all of these in one go. All right, so this was a basic understanding about one of the dashboard, and I'm going back to the slide quickly. So it is indeed important for all of us to understand that these steps are very important to do the data analytics job. And that's what we have discussed here, why the data visualization is important and how we can do that. But to understand it, how we can bring the insights from the data, let's start making one of the dashboard. And we will be doing it in our tomorrow session. And for that, in the starting, I will be sharing a data and I will be sharing a business problem from where we'll start doing a solution in the session. Alrighty, that's all from my end for today. I'm taking a pause and seeing if anyone is having any questions or doubt in this. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask me, or you can write it into the chat window. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful message. Okay, if anyone is having any doubts or any question, you can let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much everyone for attending the session. It was really pleasure to have all of you here and explain the data analytics and data visualization in last 2 days. Please go and have a look to that. Tomorrow I'll be having some ebook for you which I will be providing to you. You can go ahead to that and you can keep it with yourself for your reference as well, so that whenever you want to understand about these in details, you can go and take a look into that. I'm going to be here for next 10 more minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either to the chat window or by unmuting yourself. Again, thank you so much to all of you and have a very good evening.
Dear participants, I already shared the attendance and feedback link in the chat box over Zoom and YouTube as well. So please mark your attendance and share your valuable feedback as well. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I'm getting a couple of messages. Amma, please confirm everyone. The session is over. Guys, if you have no questions, feel free to drop off from the session. Have a very good day and looking forward to meet you again tomorrow.
Yeah, okay then. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the session, and we'll meet you on tomorrow at same time. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.